Hey guys, Sword here, back again with another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Target exclusive. Oh geez, a lot of exclusives in this line, don't you think? Either way, today we are taking a look at Wave Rider. First time in 6 to 7 inch scale, if I'm not mistaken. I know we had a little Justice League figure back in the day, which I do have somewhere. But this, of course, is brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. And yeah, much like the Captain Atom we looked at a couple days ago, not a lot of options for this guy. So unless there's some obscure DC line or some DC Direct offering of this character, I think this is the only one we got in this scale. And he is way too big for DC Classics. So unlike the Captain Atom I looked at, I don't think you're going to be able to fudge this guy in, unless he's supposed to be all yoked out like this. I think this is a bit of a bulky body for this character. When I think of a name like Wave Rider, I think of someone a little bit more lean and mean, but you know what? I'm all here for it, because we've gotten so many Marvel Legends that look like me. I mean, look at my wrist. It's a friggin' skeleton gray alien wrist, for crying out loud. We've gotten so many Marvel Legends that lack muscular, super heroic body shapes. It's nice to see them in other lines like this, or Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions for Four Horsemen, Masterverse for Mattel, so on and so forth. So I'm all here for it. I'll take it. If it's not accurate, I kind of don't care, because I don't know enough about this character to care. All I know is that I didn't have a Wave Rider at this scale, and now I do, and he's actually pretty friggin' sweet. So, with that being said, let's cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review, taking a look-see at his accessories. He does come with an extra pair of hands, on a matching pair. He's got the finger bang hand and the jazz hand there. So, there you go, some style posy hands, which I guess are fine. I would have preferred just 2 open hands, but the finger bang hand is fun. I'm assuming he does that. He's got some effect pieces for his arms here, which these are the same Speed Force accessories that I think the Speed Metal Jay Garrick came with, and he was a bulkier figure, so I'm unsure if this figure uses some of those parts, like the arms and the legs, some of the more basic parts. Obviously he doesn't use the torso because he doesn't have the keyed in part for the vest, but he seems to have a lot of similarities to that Jay Garrick in the Speed Metal wave there. I think they built was it the Darkest Night, some crazy monstrosity that the Batman Who Laughs turns into. That said, we got a couple more effects for his legs. At least I think these are the legs, maybe these are the arms, but either way, you could pretty much put them anywhere, and they do fit. I was able to get them to fit pretty well on this guy, probably because of the bulkier body, but nobody's perfect, right? That said, I wish these Speed Force effects had like a full 360 loop on them. That way you could pop the hand off, pop the foot off, and slide them on, because a hairdryer makes the world go around. You can easily pop stuff apart with that. That said, the hands would have to be made to pop out, because unlike the ankle, you sometimes can't get a good grip on the wrist ball, and you can sometimes pop it in half, and that's a pain right in the arse to get back together. I did that on the Trader Guard from Warhammer 40k a little over a week ago now. That video was posted, and yeah, that was not fun to get that joint back together. But Wave Rider, of course, comes with a collectible trading card. Cool picture of him on it there. On the back, there's a bio that you can pause and read at your own leisure. And you're going to have to this time, because I can't fill you in on this character other than kind of reminds me of Human Torch a little bit from Marvel, but of course comes with the trademark Keep Up display stand we're used to seeing with all McFarlane Toys releases. And then comparing him to another hot-headed DC character. Here's the collector's edition Firestorm. We looked at a long time ago. This was back in December, wasn't it? It's February now. Time flies when you're filming 5 reviews a night. just about, anyways. But there you go. That's your comparison for this review, because I honestly don't know who else to compare him to. My Jay Garrick Flash, unfortunately, is in storage, the speed metal one, yeah, so we won't be doing that, but he looks really sick. I like this figure. Is it one of the top multiverse of the year for me? Maybe, because got a lot of new characters. This guy and the Captain Atom in particular, because I do have their Justice League figures, so I do have a little bit of nostalgia there for him, but he just looks cool, man. I like the gold. I imagine this is part of a suit, or is this his skin? The gold on his chest there, because it's the same. It's smooth like his face, so I imagine this is like open here. But then he's got gold on the shoulders, and that feels a little bit more, rough. It's not as smooth. So I don't know what's his skin and what isn't, but I really don't care. He's an awesome looking figure. I like him a lot. Now I don't know if this is this obviously can't be classic. I think the Justice League figure is more classic than this, but is this like a 90s look? Is this a modern look? Because I'll straight up throw him with the 90s crew if it's a 90s look, because it's a really cool look. I like it a lot. As far as articulation goes, his head can look up and down, tilt side to side, rotates. Fortunately, you don't get as much. Well, you get enough. Get enough there. Let's get some down too. Some tilt. You just gotta push it a little bit. Alright, I'm just being a wuss. Shoulders can go out. This one unfortunately does not have the ratchet. I think this one does a little bit. Not a ton. I will say some of the ratchets in the shoulders on these figures lately have been non-existent. That's a bit of an issue for me. I just don't want my arm to get loose and floppy, but I guess you could always put something in there, right? Shouldn't have to though. His shoulder does have that rotator cuff cap, whatever, so you can shimmy it all around, rotate it all the way around. It's fine, it works. He's got a bicep twist, and unlike the Black Lightning I looked at yesterday, his isn't as tight, but it's still pretty tight, solid on there. He's got a double elbow, but the friggin' single elbow gets you more than 90. I'm actually gonna bend the other side, because I think that's a little tricky. Yeah. Bend this side all the way, bend it all the way up. He does have some of the cliffs of Dover going on there. And lately that's been a thing mostly on the elbows. It hasn't really been on the kneecaps, so we'll have to look at that in a minute here. But wrist is on the ball hinge, so you can hinge it. You can rotate it on the top and the bottom, and it's fine. You can adjust it however you want. Nice tight too. Torso can crunch forward, back, tilt side to side, and rotate around. He can also rotate at the waist, and you get a little bit of lean forward in the waist too. Not the tightest thing ever, but it's not floppy loose. And this rubber kind of sock here, if you shift it up, you can get it up into the torso joint, and it will help stiffen it up a bit, because there's a little less clearance there. But if you want the maximum amount of range, I would suggest pulling it down a smidge, and you should be able to get that. I love the gold chest on this guy and his gold face. It's cool looking. I don't know. I just like, why couldn't the Molten Man figure from Marvel Legends look this cool? I don't know what's up with that. His legs can kick forward. Unlike Black Lightning, he does have the diaper that goes in front of the leg, but it is much softer on this guy, so you can kick it forward without it going out to the side too much. You can do the perfect split. Like, this is really, like, thin. I'm guessing this is PVC or something. He does have a little thigh cut. Pretty decent, actually. And then he does have double knee. Not a little bit of the Cliffs of Dover going on the top joint. What about the bottom one? And not so much the bottom one. Bottom one looks fine, actually. All they really need to do, if they're moving away from this sharp cut here, is round the edges off on the knees. I mean, you could do that with a nail file if you wanted, but that's really the only thing they gotta do. I mean, I know it's an action figure, it's gonna have articulation points, but there are ways to do it to where it looks decent, at least. Doesn't need to be all chunky and clunky looking like that. He does have a swivel in the foot with a hinge and a rocker, and the toe joints. They're not as tight as Black Lightning's, but they are tight enough to where he's not going to fall down. But that's Wave Rider in a nutshell. He's freaking cool, man. I like him a lot. I think he's super cool. I don't know what else to say about him other than if you don't have a Wave Rider, which I'm assuming most of you don't, because they never really made this character before that I know of outside of that Justice League line. Pick this one up. He's worth having, in my opinion. I mean, for 20 bucks, you can do a lot worse. You can't even buy something from Hasbro for that kind of money, so, you know, why not just pick this guy up? He's cool. He's cool, right? Right? I don't know. But, it's nice to see the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. Let me pan the camera up. It's nice to see the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys making new characters. You guys know how I felt about Atomic Skull, who didn't have a 6 or 7 inch figure before. And now with this guy, he's just another solid addition to the line, man. So, that being said, before we wrap this up, here's our 2 regulars. The Legion's Brother Mandibulus with his stupid mace that falls out of his hand. One of these days, I'm just going to take his freaking weapons away. I almost dropped a big one there, like Ralphie from A Christmas Story. But I debated on taking his weapons away just so he takes up less room. And of course, we have the infamous 11 Spawn. Which, imagine a Necroplasm Green version of this Wave Rider here. That would look cool, right? But with all that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and what else can I say about good old Wave Rider that hasn't already been said by not only myself, but some of the other fine folks here on good old YouTubes. For a first time in this scale that I know of anyways, I think McFarlane Toys did a really bang-up job with this character. You get 2 sets of hands. Granted, they're not exactly matching. I mean, you do get 2 fists, but you do get 2 style posy gesture hands, one of which is pointing, the other one's open. And then you get all the cool effect pieces, which, unlike the Flash figures they tend to use these on, they stay on this guy good enough. The bulkier body does help with that, of course, but these effect parts are not perfect. But then again, what effect parts are at the end of the day, right? So, with that being said, if you are looking for a Wave Rider figure, unfortunately, you don't have a lot of options. Again, I'm 99% sure that Mattel did not make this guy outside of the Justice League Unlimited line. So this is really your only option at this scale. Much like the awesome Atomic Skull figure we looked at earlier last month, it's nice to see the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys pumping out some new characters that don't get a lot of love and really don't have any figures outside of, well, the Justice League Unlimited line or maybe some other obscure DC line that I myself am not too familiar with. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.